It's terrible about her and now you're back together with her because I stopped talking to you. That's embarrassing. That is, could never be me. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. For today's video, as per request, we are doing the story time on how my ex tried to play me. Keyword is tried because I don't know what this boy thought he was doing, or I don't understand, but that's neither here or there, just listen to the story. Also gonna be doing a highly requested get ready with me because you guys have been asking me to do more makeup looks. As per usual, grab your wine, grab your drax, what the hell is a drax? Grab your drinks, your snacks, your popcorn, a notepad, okay? You wanna take notes. I did also wanna let you guys know that I am doing a Q&A for when I reach 2K followers on YouTube, which I think by the time this video is posted, I probably will hit that. So make sure that you either submit your questions down below or you can DM me on my Instagram. My Instagram is always in the description box for your convenience. Here's to the freaking weekend. Without further ado, let's get on to this story time. And let me also just say that I missed my appointment to get my oil changed to come home and film this video. Using the Born This Way foundation as well as the concealer to foundation and conceal my face. I love these products so much. I will never use another foundation, let's just say that. This story is going to take place in 2017. I had just broken up with Adrian and it was like the last final straw breakup. Like we were done for good. There was no more going back and forth. I was fed up with his cheating funky ass and we were done. I was on Snapchat and I saw one of my childhood friends on there. To give some context, me and this boy, for the story we're just gonna call him Jay. I so badly want to use his real name, but I'm not gonna be petty. I'm not gonna be petty. Me and Jay grew up next to each other and our parents were like best friends. His mom and my mom, they're not friends no more, but that's another story for another time, okay? So our moms were like literally best friends. They developed a pretty good relationship, and so because of that, me and Jay and his brother grew up together and we would hang out literally like every single day as kids. Now as time went on, eventually, you know, we moved, we kind of lost contact. Jay's mom and my mom still kept in contact, but we didn't really have any more like play dates or anything like that. So from there on out, I really didn't see him much at all. We went to the same middle school and he acted like he did not know me, like as if I do not have diapers, literal diaper pictures with this boy. He literally acted like he did not know who the fuck I was. Like I would see him out at the movies, like every Friday when we were in middle school. If you went to Worcester, represent, we would always every Friday go roller skating, and then every Saturday we'd go to the movies, and I'd see him every single week and he would never say hi to me. It was just super awkward, super weird. Like he never acted like he knew who I was. And then there was one time where I actually saw him. If you watch my story time of when my ex cheated on me, when I went to the hookah bar Cloud, I saw him there one time, and my best friend had gone up to him to say hello because she grew up with us too. And she was like, you know, like Dakota's here, right? And he's like, he did one of those things where he's like,
oh my God, I haven't seen you in years.
How have you been? And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You're mad fake, but cool. And there was one day where I saw that he had posted on Snapchat a picture of some like really good authentic Spanish food. I'm just using the LA CoverGirl, no, not CoverGirl, what? Pro Concealer. This is all I use to cream contour my face. It's like literally $2, better than any cream contour kit I've ever used personally. So I saw that he had posted a plate of like Spanish food, and I knew right away that it was his mother's because she always cooked us like rice and beans and Spanish food growing up. So I was like, I already know that that's hers. So I basically had wrote to him on Snapchat and I was like, oh my God, you're so lucky, like that looks so good. And he was like, yeah, I know, I'm really gonna miss it when she moves to Florida. And ironically, my mother and his mother were moving to Florida at the same exact time. So I was like, oh yeah, I know, like my mom's actually moving to Florida too, like it's mad weird, like. And we didn't live with our like moms, like we didn't live with them, but it was just like we were talking about how weird it was gonna be basically like without them here or whatever. Let's kind of start talking about that. And then out of nowhere, he starts with that shit that guys always do when they want to be like,
stranger, where you been at? Like, why don't I see you around? Why don't I see you on the scene? Blah, blah, blah.
And it's like, well, first of all, because I'm a mother.
Bitch, I'm a mother! No drama!
But yeah, he just was like, where you been at? Why don't I see you on the scene? And I'm like, you don't even talk to me when you do. So like, what is the relevance of that question here, sir? Please explain to me. He's like, no,
that's not true. Like, you know, if I saw you, I'd come up to you, I'd give you a hug. And I'm just
like, stop it, get some help.
Stop it, get some help.
So we just kind of like keep talking or whatever, and I'm like updating him about my life, just about, you know, like the shit that I've been doing, and same for him. And eventually we get to talking so much that he's like, you know what, I'm about to go to bed, but like, here's my number, text me tomorrow, maybe we could meet up sometime. And I was like, yeah, cool, like it would be great to catch up. And we basically talked every single day after that for the next like 2 weeks. We talked all the time, all day, every day, constantly. We were just texting, we were chatting it up, and like I'd be at work and we would just be texting. My friends would be like, who you smiling at? And I'm like, mind your business. And so we got to the discussion of obviously like, hey, like, you know, we've been talking for a bit, like let's hang out or whatever. And I said, yeah, sure. Like, what are you up to this weekend? And ironically, I was actually going to my cousin's house who lives in this town that I used to live in growing up, and he still lived there with his dad. So I was like, oh cool, like we can meet up or whatever, I'll be in town this weekend. And Dayev gets there and basically he's like, do you want to come pick me up and we can like go to the beach? I got, you know, like we can have some drinks or whatever and like go to the beach and just hang out. And I was like, yeah, sure, like that sounds great. Because like for the first date, or like the first, I mean, I don't even know if it's a date because we haven't established that, but like the first time meeting up with somebody, I don't care too much about what we do as long as we have a good time. And I can have a good time anywhere. Like I am literally a party, a walking party. So I wasn't too pressed about like what we were gonna do or anything like that. And I thought that like, you know, going to the beach sounded great. I'm a Pisces, so girl, I could swim all day. I love the water. Dayev comes and I go to my husband, I don't have a husband, my cousin's house. And would you know that I woke up that morning, before I went there, I was like, I need to wax my girl stash, but I didn't have any wax strips left, but I had some Nair. And I was like, it's probably the same thing, let me do it. Would you believe that I broke out all over my face, bitch, all over my face? Like literally, I had breakouts everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, this is probably a sign not to go, but like, red flag who? Dora the Explorer, do you see the red flag? Because I don't. So I ended up just like covering up my face with some makeup. I go to my cousin's house, I visit with them, I hang out, whatever. And then I'm texting him and I'm like, hey, like I'm wrapping up here, like are you ready so I can come get you? And he said, yeah. There was like a little like family party going on at his house, so I guess that's why he wanted me to come get him, because he had been drinking. So I was like, yeah, sure, like no doubt, I'll come get you. And he sent me the address and I went to go pick him up. And on the way there, I was so freaking nervous because, as you guys know, I do not like dating. Like I don't know what it is, but it's just so uncomfortable to me and I get really bad anxiety. So I'm going over there and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, like what's gonna happen? Because yeah, we grew up together, but we hadn't hung out in years, so I didn't know what to expect. I text him, I'm like, I'm here. He comes outside and we give each other a hug. And I'm not gonna lie, for the first like 5 minutes, it was a little weird because we just didn't really, like, we didn't know what to talk about. We haven't really seen each other. We didn't really run in the same circle when we went to like middle school together. We did like a little bit, but not really. And he also acted like he didn't freaking know me. So we kind of just start like coming up with casual conversation, you know, stuff's going good. And then it gets to the discussion of how I have to go get gas. So like, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I am so bad when it comes to getting gas. Like I will literally let my car go on E and just drive. Like it's not good. I've lost gas before. I don't know why I haven't learned my lesson, but I just can't stand it. It's the last thing on my mind that I want to do. So I'm saying how I have to go get gas, and I pull over to like the nearest gas station on the way to the beach, and I go to get out and he's like, nah, you're not pumping. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not pumping? And if you're from Jersey, you know that you don't pump your gas, but I don't live in Jersey anymore. Some people still think I do, but I don't. So in Connecticut, you pump your own gas. So he's like, nah, like you're not pumping gas. And I'm just like, so then who's gonna pump it for me? Like I don't understand. And he's like, me. He's like, girls don't pump gas. Like that's like, I think that's disrespectful. So I was like, ooh, like he's being all gentleman-like and stuff. And I don't know, it was just really cute. Like I thought it was very, very charming how he wanted to do that for me. and he pumped the gas for me, and I don't know, I just thought it was so freaking cute. And so he gets back in the car, and you know, we start driving to the beach or whatever. We're still talking. We get there, we go out to the beach, we have a couple of like Coronas with us, and we're just talking about life. Like, he used to date this girl that I knew a little bit, like not really, like I never seen her in person, but like we used to be like, you know, social media friends. So we were talking a little bit about like them and their breakup and stuff, because they dated like literally forever, like from high school and out, and they had broken up and she had moved, and like, you know, it really broke him or whatever. So we were kind of just like chatting about that. And then we get to the discussion of like my exes, and you know, we kind of just start talking about like our relationships or whatever. I'm talking a little bit about Adrian, like not to the point where it's like all I'm talking about is my ex, because I can't stand that with people. Like, exes should be an ex for a reason, but you obviously have to like talk a little bit about your past when you're getting to know somebody. We decided to go to another beach because like a cop came and was like, yo, you guys can't be here. We were like, okay. So we went to another one. And we got out and we sat on this like little log, and there was like waves crashing in the back, and we just had a couple of drinks and we were talking, and it was like, I don't know, it was just like a really, really cute date. And I think that we stayed there, I'm not even joking, till probably like 2 in the morning, just literally talking, like talking. And a red flag that I will say that kind of got brought up. Oh, by the way, I use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It is like literally my favorite thing in the whole entire world. And then I also use the Physician Formula Butter Bronzer. It is so good, and it literally smells like a tanning salon. If you want a really snatched contour, this is my secret. You take the powder and you put it underneath, but you keep going. Go all the way to like the outskirts of your lip. Let that sit for like 10 minutes, and you're gonna have the most snatched contour anyone has ever seen. So the date ends up ending, but like I said, you know, before that, there was like a little bit of a red flag, and he was kind of talking about like his past and stuff, and how he had some like emotional issues when it came to girls. And he was like, yeah, I feel like I've been like burnt so much that it's kind of hard for me to like open up and for someone to break my wall down. And he kind of looks at me and he was like, do you think that you could break it down? And I was like, yeah, like what do you mean? Like, well, I'm a Pisces, like I'm a healer, like what do you mean? Using the Tartelette and Bloom palette, as well as the Anastasia Sultry. I absolutely love these colors so freaking much. They just go so well together. But I thought that was kind of weird, because like it was obviously an indication that he had some emotional issues that he hadn't worked through yet, because like you can't rely on somebody else to like break down walls for you or to like make you emotionally available. Like that's just not, like that's not my job.
That is not my job.
But the night ends, and you know, we go back to the car and I drive him back home. And it was funny because like he went to go get out, and he came back in and he was like, I need a kiss before I leave. And then he kept like getting out and coming back for more, and it was really, really cute, I'm not gonna lie. So I drop him off, the night ends, and I'm on like cloud 9. I'm thinking I just got me a man's. Like I was just very, very excited. So over the next couple of weeks, our relationship really started to develop. We would hang out a bunch, and then it got to the point where he was actually going on vacation with his family. I remember he was just saying like he was gonna miss me so much, and he wishes that I could come, but you know, I understand, like family comes first. So he went away for like a week, and when he came back, he really wanted to see me, but it was a day where like I couldn't get like a sitter or something. So I had my own apartment, and I was like, okay, like you just come over. I'll put, you know, like because I wasn't ready for Aubrey to meet him just yet. And so I was like, you know, I'll put her to bed or whatever, and you can come over. So he comes to my house, and he like lifts me up and gives me a hug, and he's like, oh my God, I missed you so much. And it was just really, really cute. And I don't know if like Aubrey heard the commotion or if she was just being nosy, but she comes running out into the living room, and I'm just like, no, like I did not want them to meet yet. I was not ready for that yet. And so he kind of like had to meet her on spot, because I'm not gonna tell her to like go away, like this is her house. So he meets her, and it actually went pretty well. Like he wasn't like weirded out or anything. But basically because of that, I felt more comfortable with him started to come over a bit more, because they had already met. And so basically he started to come over like a lot, and I was like still kind of keeping my space, still trying to kind of take things slow, because like I said, I was still kind of like not over Adrian just yet. But then like weird stuff started happening, and I don't know if he got like cold feet or not about like, you know, dating somebody with a kid, because dating somebody with a kid is hard. I've never dated someone with a kid before, so I wouldn't know, but like I could imagine that like coming into like a situation where there's a child that you did not birth into this world, it could be a little bit like frightening. So I feel like he kind of started to like get in over his head and get cold feet and just overthink about it. So he started like kind of acting weird, like just like responding dry and stuff, and like I don't know, it was really, really weird. And so I was kind of just like, what's going on? Like, what's really good? And he basically had like revealed to me that, you know, he kind of was just like psyching himself out, and that he wanted to make sure basically that this was like a suitable situation for him, because he had never been with someone with a kid before. And he's like, you have to understand, like I'm literally like navigating through this, like I'm learning as I go. And I was like, no, like that's fine, but like communicate that. But eventually we got through that, and he ended up like, you know, coming over a bit more and like being around Aubrey a bit more, and like we just started really like opening and developing feelings for one another. I kind of revealed to him how like I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and he was saying how he like wants to do music, because he's into music, so, and he does like SoundCloud rapping and stuff. So
okay.
basically we were just like kind of like talking about like our dreams and our goals and our aspirations, and we were both kind of those people that were like, we don't see ourselves like traditionally settling down into like a 9-to-5 job. Like we really want to have like our own business, or like we want to be like entrepreneurs, like, and we both kind of, oh my god, that sounded expensive. Holy shit. We're good. The concealer did not break. Oh my god, I would have cried. There would have been a death in the family. I would have had to call out of work tomorrow. So I feel like because we were getting to know each other so well, and we had such common interests about things, like we both just kind of immediately fell for each other, and he felt like he could be safe around me, and that he could emotionally let loose. Because I feel like as boys, they're taught this toxic mentality of like, boys don't cry, man up, suck it up, buttercup. And it's like, no, like that is damaging. That will literally cause somebody to be so unemotionally available, unemotionally intelligent. So I felt like he was like learning a lot from me, in a sense of like, you could let yourself fall here, like you could be fine, like this is a safe place for you to open up. I remember one day came around, and my mom had moved to Florida, but she had this dresser that she had saved for me that she wanted me to have. It was like an IKEA dresser. It was white, super pretty, and because she was moving, she gave it to my cousin down the street to like put on holds for me, basically. And so one day came around, and I'm like, damn, like I really need to go get that dresser, but like I can't go get that by myself, and like I'm working so much, like how am I gonna do this? So he offered to go pick it up for me with his friend. I had to give him my house key, because when they were going to be doing this delivery of the dresser, I was going to be at work. So I gave him the house key, and from then on out, like I don't know what it was, but he just felt like he could come over whenever he wanted. Like there'd be some days where like I was coming home from work and he would just be at the house, and I'm like, bro, we never talked about this, like we never established this. And for me, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I need like my space when it comes to a relationship. Like, I don't know if it's my Virgo rising, I don't know what it is, but like too much of a good thing is sometimes not a good thing, and it could be suffocating. And so I like my solitude. I need my solitude to recharge, to recuperate, just revamp my energy. And I felt like he was the type where he wanted to hang out every single day, and I cannot do that in a relationship. Like twice a week is good for me. 3 times a week, great. 4, pushing it. Anything above that, no thank you. I felt like it was kind of like getting suffocating, and I would try to bring things up to him, but he was so difficult to talk to because he was never taught like how to like effectively communicate and stuff. So every time I would talk to him, he would think that I was trying to argue, and I'm like, I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying to have an adult conversation about how I feel like I need space. And when I would say things like, you know, oh, hey, like, I think I want to just be at the house by myself tonight or whatever, like, I don't know, he wouldn't say that he was mad, but you could tell that he was mad. He would bring up petty comments and be like, oh, I guess you can't do 2 days in a row, or like, you don't do 2 days. And I'm just like, I don't know. Anyway, so it got to the point where we were hanging out so much that he brought it up, the discussion of him moving in. And I was like completely against it, because the apartment I was at, me and Adrian had previously lived out together. Not only broke up, but like 3 months prior to us growing up, 4 months prior to us like breaking up, we had moved in together. He moved out. He was like cheating on me with his coworker, his underage coworker. Oh, okay. I kind of just was like scarred from that whole experience. So I was really hesitant on letting anybody else like live with me relationship wise. And he would kept bringing it up. He's like, come on, like, I'll help you pay for it. Like, I'll help you out with rent, etc. And I was just like, I'm not ready for it. Eventually got to the point where, like, he was over all the time. Half of his stuff was at my house. Like, and he was just literally, like, always there. So it got to the point where I'm just like, you know what? Let's do it. Like, let's move in together. Like, him and Aubrey got along so good. They've developed such an amazing and fantastic bond. Like, half the time when he came over, they would be playing and I would just be sitting there like, I'm chopped liver. Like, he loved her. He would bring her little, like, toys and surprises. They'd go to, like, the bookstore together. And he was just overall, like, I will never have anything bad to say about him with Aubrey. I know you're thinking, when does it get to the point where he plays me? But listen, it comes up. People reveal themselves later on. I keep telling you guys this, so just hold up. I promise it's coming soon. He moved in, and I don't know if he thought because he moved in that he had authority all of a sudden, but he started trying to tell me that, like, I spoiled Aubrey and I was too soft with Aubrey and she walks all over me. And, like, at the time she was literally 3. Like, she had just turned 3. I'm like, what are you like, she's a kid. Like, what do you mean? It's always the people who don't have kids that think that they know what they're talking about when it comes to parenting, and it's like, you have no idea. Like, just stay in your lane, stay over there. Nobody asked you. Like, nobody asked you. But it wasn't in a way where he was trying to help me. It'd be one thing if he sat me down and he was like, hey babe, like, you know, I kind of noticed this, and I was thinking, like, maybe, you know, maybe you could do this and it might help you. Or like, hey, like, I see that, you know, you've been struggling lately, like, how about, you know, I can help you with this. It wasn't that. It was like, you spoil her. You need to start, like, spanking her or something, because like you spoil her too much. Like, she walks all over you, she does this. And I'm just like, oh, hell no. Hell no. And I should have honestly like ended it like right then and there, but I was like, we all grow up so differently. Like, some of us grow up with our parents spanking us, some of us don't. I personally disagree with it and I would never do it, but everyone grows up differently. So I kind of had to like teach him that, like, no, like, that's not okay. There's other ways to like discipline your kid other than spanking them or beating them. Like, no. So basically I was getting a little annoyed because I felt like he was just trying to, like, I don't know, like, always just like one up me, like, or always just tell me what to do, or like how I should discipline her. And like, one thing about me is, like, do not tell me what to do. I will purposely do the opposite of what you asked me to do if you try to tell me what to do. So, but he did give like some good suggestions. Like, he'd be like, oh, like, maybe you should make her crib into a day bed. That way she doesn't like try to climb out of it and stuff. And so I did that, and he was like, maybe you should like cut her afternoon nap out because it seems like she's staying up at night. And so, you know, we tried that out and it actually worked out great. So like, he gave me a lot of suggestions that I liked, but other ones in form of discipline, I feel like he was really rude. And I'm just like, dude, like, we're on a team together. Like, you're like, help me out. Like, don't be my opponent. Like, be my my team member. I don't understand. Because of that, I just kind of started to like fall out of love with him, I guess. Like, I don't know what it was, but it just really turned me off. And I would try to have like discussions with him and he just wouldn't understand. And he'd be like, oh, well, you're only getting defensive because it's true. And I'm like, no, I'm getting defensive because you're being rude. You're being a rude person. I don't like rude people. So it got to the point where I wasn't really happy anymore, and I broke up with him. I was just like, listen, like, we've been trying to work at this. We're fighting all the time. I also felt like he wasn't really helping me around the house at all. And it was like, anytime I tried to sit down with him and discuss something, it was always an argument. Even finances, I felt like in the beginning I was always paying for like all of our dates and stuff like that. Given he didn't have a job at the time, he was getting unemployment, but he was looking for a job. And I remember I sat him down one day and I'm just like, I feel like whenever we go somewhere, like, I'm always paying. And I'm like, can you like step it up a little bit? And he'd be like,
oh, you want me just to give you my whole paycheck? And
I'm like, no, I'm just saying, like, you're sleeping over here, I'm feeding you, we're going out places, and I'm always paying for them. Like, can you do something? And so finally and he did start to like pay and stuff, and he did get a lot better with that. But like, the fact of the matter is that every time I tried to sit down with this kid and discuss something, it was always an argument. It was never just like a mature conversation. So I got sick of it real fast, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I told him that I didn't want to live together anymore. I didn't want to be together anymore. And we kind of had like a really big argument about it, and he left. He took his stuff with him, and that was basically that. For a cream highlight, I like to use the Revlon Champagne Liquid. I also really like the ColourPop Flexitarian. It is so freaking gorgeous. I love doing the cream highlight before I do the powder highlight. It's like it makes everything pop. I had thrown him out and we basically were broken up, and then like a week later he was like, hey, I got something for Aubrey, I want to bring it by. And I was like, okay, sure, it's fine. So he came over, he brought her this like big, huge teddy bear. Like it was a huge pink teddy bear. And then he got her a card, and it was like a Wonder Woman card because she was like obsessed with Wonder Woman at the time. So he got her a card, and it was like, he wrote her like this whole thing, and he was like, you know, just saying how much like he was gonna always be there for her if she ever needed him, and can't believe he met the real Wonder Woman in person. Like it was just really, really sweet. And I think I'm so touchy when it comes to like my kid, and I just felt like, you know, I'd found somebody that like really loved her and really appreciated her. And then in my mind I'm like, where am I gonna find somebody that, you know, loves me and my daughter like this, and blah blah blah. And like, I don't know, I just I took him back. I basically felt bad, and I was like, you know what, we can get back together, like it's fine. Like obviously, you know, you came back for a reason, like it's the universe aligning us together, blah blah blah.
Stupid.
But then things just like quickly again started to go downhill, and I started noticing little like mannerisms about him that I did not like. Like for example, like I am not racist, I am not homophobic, my daughter is black. Like I just love people of culture. Like I've always gotten along more with people who are like a different race than me. Like I love it. And I love gay people. I love gay people so freaking much. I don't care what you do or who you do it with. Love who you love, baby, because that is all it's about. And he was he was like low-key homophobic. He's like, I mean, like, you know, I don't mind it. Like I wouldn't like, you know, like hate somebody for it, but like it's against the Bible. Like they're sinning, they're going to hell, like all this stuff. And like we would literally sit there on the bed and I'd be like battling back and forth with him. I'm like, okay, have you had premarital sex? Do you eat meat? Do you wear like, you know, this and that? Do you like blah blah blah? And he'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, you're sinning too. Like, so why is somebody else's sin more or less of a severity than yours? Like, I don't know. When it comes to like gay people or racism, like I do not play with that. Like if you are homophobic or if you're a racist, I don't care if you're I've cut off so many family members for that shit. I do not like it. So I just started noticing that. And then like some people like around him were like that too. Like there was one time we went to a party and like one of his family members, like I guess a little boy, was playing with like a Barbie doll or something, and he was like, boys don't play with dolls, give me that right now. And I'm just like, if I have a son, he can play with dolls, he can dress up, he can do whatever he wants. Like why are you so pressed over, like, I don't know. And then he like agreed with it. He was like, yeah, I would have done that too, like blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, so if we have a son together and he's gay, you're gonna disown him. Okay, if we have a son together and he wants to wear dresses, you're gonna tell him that's girly or that's wrong. Like I think about these things, and you guys need to think about these things too. When you're talking to somebody and dating somebody, you need to be on the same page of like how you'd raise a child, what religion you'd raise a child in, how the child would be brought up, because this is why people get married and have kids and realize they're not compatible, because they don't have these discussions beforehand. So I started realizing that I didn't like it at all. And then like, I don't know, certain things would like really turn me off. Like I noticed if we would like go out to like eat somewhere, he wouldn't really like tip. Like I'd have to tell him like, yo, leave a tip. Like what are you doing? He like, I don't know. I taught him a lot about like etiquette, about like tipping properly, like cooking, cleaning. This boy did not know how to boil water before me. He didn't know how to clean a house properly before me. I taught him like proper like wait staff etiquette. I'm like, say please and thank you. Don't be like, yo, let me get this. Say no. Hi, can I please have? Thank you so much. Have a great day. Like, oh, I don't know what it is about some boys, but they just have no manners at all. These lashes are from Amazon. You see how amazing they are? It comes in a pack like this, and it's $9. So go, I'm gonna link them down below, and make sure you get the style B03, because they're the best. And there'd be like other stuff too. Like, I don't know, he would just be petty about stuff. Like, I would say how I didn't feel like he was really helping me much around the house or whatever, and I'd be like, I don't know, like ask him to like do the dishes or something. And there was one night where he was like,
well, I mean, those dishes are basically like all of yours and Aubrey's.
Okay, you can't help? Like, I don't understand. So that was like the final straw for me. I just feel like he was like, and he would say little things too. Like we get into arguments and he would be like, I love you and your daughter so much. Like, you know how rare it is to find that? And I'm like, no, not really, because I'm amazing and my daughter's amazing. Any guy would be lucky to have us in their life. So like, don't even come at me with that. I just feel like, I don't know, he had a very toxic mentality and he had a lot of growing up to do. I basically just like couldn't stand to be around him anymore, and I didn't like want to break up with him because like he was so good with Aubrey and she loved him, and like he did have some really good qualities. Like there would be times where like, you know, I'd come home and like my favorite like roses and sunflowers would be on the table, or he would get me like gifts here and there. He got me this really pretty like promise ring with like my favorite color gemstone in there, and like I don't know, he would always just tell me like how much he loved me and like how much he appreciated me, and like he liked music and stuff, and like I don't know, I love artists. Like I love people who like do music or do photography and things like that, but every time I end up with them, something always ends up happening. I'm the type of person where like I'd much rather have somebody break up with me or hurt me than me hurt them. I don't know what it is, but like I can't stand to hurt people. But I think it got to the point where he was like seeing that I just did not want to be in the relationship anymore, and he kind of just texted me when I was at work, and he was just like, listen, like if you don't want to be with me anymore, I get it, but like just tell me or whatever. And I kind of told him, I'm like, listen, like it's not working out. Like we're fighting all the time. We have such different beliefs on things. And I don't know, he came at me and he was kind of just like, well, that doesn't matter. Like when you love somebody, you work through it. But like if you want me to go, I'll go. I'll just pack my stuff. I guess there's just nothing else to it, right? And I was just like, I'm sorry, just like I'm not happy anymore. I have to put myself first. I can't keep doing this. So I remember I got home that night and like all of his stuff was moved out, and it was kind of a little bit sad and I felt bad, but I knew that low key it was the best thing for me. Now let's bring it to 2019, the year that this boy thought, I don't know what he thought, but anyway, a couple years had gone by. We would like keep in touch every now and then. Like there was no beef, there was no hostility. Like I always said, like he was like a good boyfriend. It's just we had different beliefs on things. We didn't agree on things, and they were things that you need to be on the same page of in a relationship. And like you may meet somebody sometimes that's a great person, but that doesn't mean they're a great person for you. That doesn't mean that they're good for you. Every once in a while, like he would try to text me and be like, oh, like maybe we could meet up one day and hang out. And like I always said no, because I feel like exes are an ex for a reason. Time goes by, and there's one day where like his brother had dropped like a song or something and he was on it, and I was like, oh, let me go to Jay's page and check it out. And I go on his page and I see that I'm not following him anymore, and I'm like, I know damn well that I didn't unfollow him, so that's a little bit weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
So I see that he has a girlfriend, and I don't see it because he like posted something about her. I saw it because on his like story he posted something about her, but not like on his actual page. So I'm just like, oh, okay, like good for him. Like I was happy for him. I'm like, ooh, like he found himself a girl, like good for him, you know? And I was happy for him. So but I'm like, why did he unfollow me and then make me he did that thing where he blocked me so I couldn't follow him anymore. And I'm like, it can't be because he has a girlfriend, because we've been broken up for the past couple of years. Like I can understand if we like just broke up and then he wanted to unfollow me because he got a new girl, but it's been 2 years. Like I don't understand. But I let it go. I paid it no mind. And there was one night where I was at a bar with my best friend, and she had like a picture on her phone of us back in the day in middle school. And then she found a picture of like her and Jay from back in the day in middle school. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, let me take a picture of that and send it to him on Snapchat, because he still had me on Snapchat. And I sent it to him and I was just like, LOL. And he's like, yo, that's so funny. And then he was like, how are you? How you been? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I've been good. What about you? And we just kind of kept talking. But he had a girlfriend still, so I wasn't trying to really talk much, because I'm like, obviously she doesn't want you talking to me for whatever reason, because why else would you have made me unfollow you on everything? But then he kept the conversation going, and he kept like flirting with me, and I told my friend, I was like, Jay is like I showed her the conversation. I was like, he is like back. I was like, am I tripping? She's like, no, like he's flirting with you, like flirt, like back and forth. And he kept the conversation going. Finally, I kind of just like stopped answering, because I figured like, okay, maybe he's drunk or something. I don't know. But he had a girlfriend, and I don't play, but I am not a homewrecker, honey. So I let it go. And then I want to say that was like June or July. So November comes around, and I can't remember for the life of me how we started talking again or what the discussion was, but we started DMing on Instagram. And I think I said something like funny. I was just like, because he would still like look at my stories and stuff, so it just like follow and turn post notifications on. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I was like, oh, are you allowed to like talk to me? Like, I don't understand. And he was like, oh yeah, like, you know, like, I'm sorry about that. I had a girlfriend, she made me unfollow you on everything, blah blah blah. And I was like, it's cool, like, I get it. And I was like, well then, like, follow me. Like, why aren't you following me? Like, if we're gonna talk on DMs, like, follow my social media. And he's like, yeah, you got it, like, I'll follow you right now. He follows me, I follow him back, and then he was like, text me if you still have my number. And I said, okay, cool. So I text him, and we're just like catching up, you know, casually talking. Continued for like weeks. Like, we would just like text every now and then and like send each other funny memes or whatever. I don't know what it was, but I guess because we talked so freaking much, like, my feelings a little bit started to come back, and so did his, because he would like say like little things here and there, like, I never really stopped like thinking about you, like I would check on your stuff and things like that. And I don't know, just like really sweet things. Thanksgiving comes and goes, and then New Year's comes, and this whole entire time we're still talking, you guys, we're still talking. And finally we're just like, let's hang out. Like, why have we not met up already? Like, this is crazy. Using the Too Faced Melted and the color Sellout. A lot of you guys were asking me what was on my lips in my last video, and I'm gonna pair it with my NYX. This is my favorite lip liner ever. It's in Los Angeles, and that is gonna be my lip combo. So New Year's Eve rolls around, he basically was like, okay, I'm gonna like come to where you are, and I sent him the address. So he ends up showing up, and I go outside, and like, I don't feel nervous or anything because like we had already dated, so like it wasn't weird for me. And I come in, and like he gives me like the biggest hug, and he's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're here right now, like, is this real? And we just end up talking for like hours, like just like our first date. We talked for the whole entire night, and he basically is telling me like, you know, I always felt like you were the one that got away. Like, I never stopped loving you. Like, I always like was thinking about you. Like, he literally told me, he was like, even when I was with her, what are we gonna, this girl, if I talk about this girl and I sound petty, this is why. Because I don't like girls who talk about me as if they know me. I don't like girls who like, I don't know what it is, but it happens with all my exes. All of their like current girlfriends like hate me, and I'm like, I don't even talk to your boyfriend anymore. Why do you, like, what did I do? Like, I don't understand what I did. He's telling me like, yo, like, when I was with this girl, like, I was still thinking about you, like, I still like really loved you and everything. And we basically just discussed like why we broke up, how we feel like we've grown individually since we broke up. And we both kind of came to the conclusion, we were like, yeah, I really feel like we kind of broke up to grow individually and find ourselves again, to come back together. And it felt like this like cosmic like unity. I don't know what it was, but it just felt so right. And I'm a very like spiritual person, and I felt like I was getting all the signs of like our reunion being like meant to be. The night goes on, and we basically just, you know, we sit out there, we talk, and we just reminisce, and it was such a good night. And then, you know, finally we're like, okay, well, you know, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, let's both go home and we'll hang out another day. Basically from then on out, like, we would hang out, you know, but we would hang out. We wouldn't like go on dates and stuff. He would like pick me up, and we would like drive around or like watch movies in his car, because he had like the new cars were like the TVs are like in the seats or like in the front. So we would watch like movies and stuff like that, and just drive around and talk and listen to music. He'd show me like some music he was working on. I don't know why I was fine with that. I feel like, you know, you said all this stuff about how like you missed me so much and you loved me and like whatever, and like, why don't you want to take me out? Like, why don't you want to take me on dates? Like, I don't understand. But it was really suspicious, and I felt like he just never wanted to like go out somewhere with me, and he always just wanted to like drive around. You know, we're doing that, and he's saying little things to me here and there, like, oh, we got it. Like, he hadn't seen Aubrey again just yet, because I told him, I was like, I want to wait a while before you start coming back around to her again, because even though it's been 2 years, like, she has a good memory. I don't want her to like get involved in this and have us break up again. So I was being smart about it this time, saying all these things like, oh, we have to get her a dog. Does she still like dogs? Does she still like this? And he's like, I can't wait for us to get married. Like, just saying all of this like intimate, like, you know, really intimate and passionate stuff to me. Like, I love you so much. Like, you're always going to be the one that I love, etc. And like all of these things. So it led me to think that we were eventually going to like get back into a relationship again. And like, you know, we were going to settle down and stuff. And everything just seemed to be going really, really well, besides the fact that we weren't really going out and doing much. So as like, you know, the days, the weeks, whatever are going by, he starts breaking up his ex a little more frequently. And he begins to tell me about how much she doesn't like me. And I'm like, how does she even know me? Like I'm confused here. Cause like I said, we broke up and it's 2 years have passed and he stayed single throughout all of that time until he found her, which was like a year and a half later. Like so much time has gone by. Like I don't understand. So he's like, well, like, I don't know what it was, but she was just like very pressed on you. Like, you know, we just kind of were like talking about like our exes and stuff. And like, you know, I was just bringing up you, and not like in a bad way or anything, but just, you know, we were talking about like our past relationships. She wanted to know everything. She wanted to know what I looked like, what my Instagram name was. And like, he said that he was like, I wouldn't tell her because I thought it was weird. And then I guess she ended up finding it. And he said that like she found my Instagram and she just was making like really like snarky remarks like, oh, you like white girls? Like, oh, like what was so good about her? Like, I don't get it. And then he said that there'd be times where she like did something for him, like something special for him. And she'd be like, oh, I bet your ex didn't used to do this. And I'm just like, what? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't like girls like that who like are so insecure, and when they get in a relationship, they want to find out all about the ex. They want to stalk her, even if it's been years. Like, and they just get so fixated. It's like, you don't know me. I don't know you. I've never done anything wrong to you. I've never done anything wrong to anybody. Like, what? Like, why do you have a problem with me? Like, I don't understand. So I kind of just laughed about it. I genuinely did not care, and I completely let it go. I'm using the Fenty highlight. It is literally... Fenty has the best highlighters, some of like the best products. I don't know what it is, but like Rihanna really did her thing with this, okay? There was one day where he was going to the bathroom, he was getting ready, they were about to go somewhere, and he came back in the room and she was sitting on the bed with like this devious smile on her face. And he's like, what? Like, what's up? And she was like,
I found the card that your ex wrote you and I ripped that shit up. Like, it's gone.
So when we were living together, like his birthday had obviously passed, and if you're in my life, you know, I make your birthdays very special. I like for people to feel special on their day and just feel like they're loved and supported. And so I wrote him this like really beautiful card, and then Aubrey wrote him one as well and drew him a picture. And I guess she found it. And he told me, he was like, it was literally like so deep in my closet, I don't even understand. Like, she must have been like looking for something. And she found it and she ripped it up. And he was like, I was so heartbroken. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I almost started crying because he kept it for a reason. Like, let's be real. But yeah, just like petty stuff like that he would bring up. And that made me be like, just like, I don't understand. Like, you don't know me. Like, why do you have such an issue with me? And this is a commonality in like a lot of my exes. Like, when Adrian and I were on a break, he was like with a girl, and I guess she found this like old Valentine's Day book that I had spent like literally weeks making for him, and she like tried to like rip it up. I'm like, why is all these girls ripping up my stuff? Like, I just don't get it. Time goes on, scroll forward, and you know, we're still hanging out, everything's still going like okay. And then one day I was like, do you want to come over? Like, I have some free time before I have to go get Aubrey. And he was like, yeah, sure. So he comes over and he comes right into my room, and not even like a hello, not even a how are you, nothing. He's like, this girl is crazy. And I'm like, who? And he's like, what are we gonna call her? I didn't give her a name. We're gonna call her, she's so irrelevant, I don't even want to give her a name, but we're gonna call her A. And he's like, A, like, I don't understand, like, she's so crazy. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, look at this. And I was like, what? And so he shows me his phone, and it's a text, and it's from her, but her name is not in it. It just says her initial. So say like her name was like Ashley, we're calling her A. So like her initial A was on there, and it was like, oh, how cute, you followed your ex again, like, hope you guys are happy together, with like a kissy face. And I was like, what the hell? Like, that is weird. So you literally went to this man's page and looked up my name for what? Like, and the thing that makes it weird to me is that he had unfollowed me when they were together, and he told me that too. He was like, yeah, like, once she found your Instagram, like, she completely just made me unfollow you off of everything, and she was just like so crazy about it. And she made me block you and then unblock you, that way you couldn't follow me, and just like, just weird stuff. And yeah, so anyway, I thought that that was kind of weird, because I'm like, we haven't followed each other in a while, so you're telling me weekly this girl is probably going to your page and looking up my name to see if we were together again. Like, that's weird. That's some weirdo, like, weird shit. She just is so crazy, I don't understand. And I was like, why don't you guys have a past conversation thread on here? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, there's no text above this. Like, all it says is just this one text about how you're following me again. I was like, if you guys haven't talked in so long, why does she even care? And he's like, I don't know, man, she's crazy. Like, this is why we broke up, because she's so crazy and she's so insecure. And like how when they got together, I guess like he would try to go to the studio and stuff, because like I told you guys, he works on music, and she would get so pressed about him leaving. She wouldn't want him to go. She didn't want him hanging out with his friends or doing anything. Every time that he would leave the house to go to the studio, that she'd be like, oh, you better not be cheating on me. She didn't really like, she wasn't really working or anything. So he's like, yeah, like I took care of her. Like I was paying for everything. I was doing this and that. I'm just like, sounds familiar. I mean, karma, but that's none of my business. Just saying how he feels like because she didn't really have much going on for herself, that she was like up his butt all the time. So I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because like I said, like I'm not dumb, like I peep stuff, and I'm like, even I have past conversations with people that I have text threads with. It's not just like one single text, but whatever, I let it go. I was like, if he's doing something, like it's gonna get revealed to me anyway, so I'm just gonna let it go. It still was in the back of my mind, and in my gut, I knew that something wasn't right. He asked me, he's like, oh, can I come pick you up? We can go drive around. And I was like, yeah, sure. And for the past couple days after he left my house and I saw that text, he was acting weird. Like, I don't know if he knew that I peeped something. I don't know if he like, I don't know, but he was acting weird. His responses were becoming very dry, like drier than a Popeye's biscuit on a hot day. He would go to like the studio and not really be answering me. And normally when he would go to the studio, he would like, hey, like I'm gonna go here tonight, or I'm gonna do this. So I might answer you a little bit like behind because of that. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Like, thank you for letting me know. And like that stopped, like out of nowhere. And I was just very confused about it. I felt in my gut, I was like, something is not right. So when he picked me up, we had kind of talked about it, because I had addressed it like during those couple days, like, why is your energy weird all of a sudden? He was like, oh, I'm sorry, I just have a lot going on. So when he picked me up, I was kind of already in like a mood, because like his energy was just trash lately, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. I'm like, listen, we gotta talk, because like stuff is just not okay lately. And he's like, what? And I basically laid it out flat for him. I told him, I was like, your energy is trash. You're not communicating the way that you used to. You're not acting the way you used to. You got your ex over here texting you. You're acting weird now all of a sudden that I have seen it. I'm like, you showed me it. If you didn't want, if you didn't want me to like know about it, then why did you show me? Like, I don't understand. Basically gets to the discussion, and he's just like, I know, like I know that I haven't been communicating with you lately. I know that I need to get better at it. Like, I'll see your text and then I'll just forget about it. And I'm just like, so you're basically saying that you see me texting you, but you just forget about it and don't answer. And so I'm like, when's the last time that you guys talked? And he's like, I think like New Year's Eve. Come again? I was with you on New Year's Eve. What are you talking about? You guys talked on New Year's Eve. And he was like, yeah, she texted me and she was like, you know, trying to like initiate conversation. And I guess she was pissed because she thought that by now we'd get back together. And I was like, so you guys had a conversation on New Year's Eve? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, then where is that? Why is it deleted? If it was innocent and it was nothing, why is it deleted? And he's like, I don't know. I just wanted to delete it. I didn't want it in my phone. Do you think I was born at night, but I was not born last night? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm dumb? I'm gonna set my face with the Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. Try saying that 6 times. This stuff is amazing. Period. Well, I just really got like a bad gut feeling, and I was just like, nah, like something is not right. Something in my heart is telling me that something's not right. And then he just started like saying like really weird things, really weird stuff. We were talking about like presents or something like that. And he was like, yeah, like, you know, nobody really like gets me presents or whatever, like for like birthdays and holidays and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, like that's kind of sad. Like, that's really messed up. And he was like, well, I mean, yeah, like when your birthday comes, like I'm probably not gonna get you a present. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, why wouldn't you get me a present? Because my birthday was coming up like a month after. And he was like, well, I mean, why would you think that I would get you something? I was never taught to buy people things. Like I never had that done for me. Like, how would I know? And I'm just like, do you not understand that you, like, if you don't address your childhood trauma, and if you don't address the things that have happened to you in the past, you are going to bleed on people who didn't cut you. Trauma does not just go away. Trauma stays stuck in our body until it is released. Until you do your shadow work, your inner child work, etc., you are not going to change as a person. And I kind of realized right there in his car, I'm like, he has not changed at all. He took no time to develop or grow himself while we broke up. He is bleeding on people who didn't cut him. He's always going to be like this insecure, projective person, and I just want nothing to do with it anymore. So I kind of just was really turned off, and I think he could tell that I was turned off, and I was like, I think it's time to go home. And he was like, okay. So he goes and he drops me off. We say goodbye, and I just walk upstairs and into my room, and I'm just like looking at my phone, and I'm just like, this is not what I want. Like, this is why we literally broke up, because he has so many deep-rooted issues that he doesn't want to face or work on, and I just want nothing to do with it anymore. And so he texted me that morning. I think I actually still have the text in my laptop, so I'm gonna place it on here somewhere because he just really has me messed up. So he texted me in the morning, and he was just like, good morning, babe, have a good day. And I didn't answer because I just didn't really have much to say in the moment, and I was kind of contemplating on if I really wanted to stay in this situation or not. And by the way, during this whole thing, like I said, he was texting me all the time being like, my baby girl, my queen, I can't wait to get married, I can't wait for Aubrey to have a dog, I can't wait for us to do this and that. He was planning on us, like he was like, oh, we have to go on vacation like this summer, like where do you want to go? Do you want to go to like Miami, or do you want to go to the Bahamas? Like, we were just talking about all this future stuff, all these plans that made me think that he was becoming serious about it. A couple days went by and I still didn't answer, and it wasn't because I was trying to be mean or rude, because I don't believe in like ghosting people. I legitimately just forgot to answer, and I was kind of sitting there like thinking about what I wanted to do, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was talking with my friends about it, and they were like, if you're unhappy, you just gotta leave, like maybe this just isn't the person for you. And I remember I thought in my head, like, I didn't answer one text, but why isn't he texting me? Like, if that was me, I don't know if you guys are like me, but if somebody's not answering me, like, I will double text, I will double call, I'll be like, what's going on? Like, I just don't understand why people don't, they have such like a pride thing, such an ego buildup that they can't text somebody and be like, did I do something? Is something wrong? Or they know that something's wrong, but they don't want to talk about it. A week goes by, okay? My friend texts me. My friend was like, hey, like, what's up? How are you doing? Because I had told her recently that me and Jay had started talking again. And I was out somewhere at like a brunch after dark type of thing, and he came and picked me up from it. So I kind of had to tell her like, oh yeah, we're talking again, whatever. And she texted me and she was just like, oh, hey girl, just wanted to check in. We were having casual conversation. She was like, how are you and Jay? And I kind of realized right then and there, I'm like, oh shit, like I forgot to answer his text. So I was like, you know what, girl, actually, I was like, we're not really talking right now. I don't really know what's going on, but like, I don't think it's going to work out. I think I just need to walk away. So I remember I was like, you know what? I haven't seen him post on social media in a long time. Let me go see what's up. I go on his social media, I type in his name on Instagram, and I go to his profile, and I'm not following him. That's weird. I know that I did not unfollow him. And he's not following me either. Weird. I see he just posted a story. I'm like, let me go check the story. Why not? You know, whatever. See what he's doing. And I see that he posts a plate of food. It's a plate of food. It's some like shrimp and some mashed potatoes. It looks delicious. And I'm just like, well, I know he didn't cook that because he doesn't even know how to boil a pot of water. And then I see like a girl in the back. You can't see like her like face or anything, but you could see a little bit of like her hair and like the cascade of like her shoulder. So I'm just like, interesting. I know it's not his sister because she doesn't live in Connecticut, and I know that he doesn't have any friends that are girls, so okay. Cool. Just out of curiosity, I decided to, you know, go to his following and see if he, you know, just see who he's following. I don't know, maybe he got a new friend over the past couple days, cool. And right as I look at his following, I see that his ex, A, is following him again. And what would you know? He is following her again too. Would you not? Would you know? Interesting. But you know what? I mean, I guess exes can follow each other again. I mean, me and him did, like, whatever, there's no beef. Cool. Just out of curiosity, I decided to go to her page, and I have no shame when it comes to this. My friends always laugh at me. They think I'm crazy, but like, I don't need a burner Instagram account. I don't need a burner page. I will straight up just go to your page and look at your story. If I'm not following you, if you don't like me, like, I don't care. Like, if your page is public, your page is public. Okay? It's public knowledge. So I go to her page, I look at her story, And wouldn't you know, she's having the same thing for dinner. Oh my God. I guess it's a common dish though. I guess it's a common dish, so okay. And then in the background, I see a hand with a red bracelet on it. And the red bracelet looked awfully familiar because when the person I was talking to a week ago was holding my hand while we were driving, he had the same red bracelet on. Oh my God. Crazy, right? So crazy. So I let it go. I was like, whatever. And then I think maybe like a couple days later, I just was like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I did nothing. I didn't text him. I didn't go off. I didn't send him triggered from Janae Aiko. I didn't do anything. If this was me like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe. But I was like, you know what? Not for nothing, but like, that's embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. You literally sat there talking so much. I didn't even tell you guys like all the stuff because some things need to be kept private. Like, I'm not gonna be out here like spilling all the tea of everybody's business, but like, he talked so bad about her, so bad. And you talked terrible about her and now you're back together with her because I stopped talking to you. That's embarrassing. That is, could never be me. Can't relate. Oh, that's so embarrassing, bro. It's such a bad look. But anyway, basically what happened is that I stopped talking to him and he went back to her and they're still together to this day. And the only reason why I know that is because I still follow his family. I love his family. They love me. Like, there will never be, like, I will always love them. And they post things like of them like being out together sometimes and then they're in it. So I obviously figure that like they're together, but they don't have no pictures on social media together, like absolutely nothing. If it wasn't for me seeing like that story, I probably wouldn't know that they were together and have no idea. But they are together. So basically, this is what happened. He tried to play me. He tried it. He thought he was doing something. He was doing nothing. Here's what happened. And I could be wrong. You guys let me know. But my theory is that they broke up. He saw a chance to possibly get back together with me when we were conversing over Instagram DM. He wanted to try it out with me. He wanted to see if it would work, but because I broke up with him a couple times in the past, he had his guard up, so he didn't want to be left with no options. So I feel like we got together and he kept her kind of like on the back burner, like giving her like little crumbs, like just enough here and there to keep her interested and keep her in the loop, but not enough to actually be like, oh, like we have something going on here, like we're together. And I think he did that just in case we didn't work out. And what do you know? A week after, I don't answer him. He's at her house again having dinner. The other theory could be that he was talking to her the whole time, but I don't think that because I don't know. Like, I don't think that just because like, if that was the case, then when he followed me, she would have flipped out because she already did flip out when they were together previously and he followed me on Instagram. So if that were the case, it wouldn't just be like, oh, cute, you followed your ex. I think that like he was just keeping her on the back burner. They were still probably talking here and there, but like not much. But I think he was just keeping her like on a rotation just in case we didn't work out. And I'm just like, you really thought you were doing something. You really thought that you were going to play me, but you do not understand that I don't care. I don't care. Like, these days in my life, if somebody wants to leave, like, there's the door, exit stage left, you can go. I'm not even gonna like bother with you because I know my worth and I know my substance and I'm not gonna settle for anything less than that. And I saw that you weren't doing what you need to do as a man. You didn't want to step up to the plate, so I stopped talking to you. Like, that's exactly what it is. And I don't know, he really thought he was doing something. He really thought he was about to play me. He really thought that, like, I don't know if he was gonna like, he thought he was gonna get like a one up on me or anything like that, but like, that's just, like I said, it's embarrassing. And then part of me thinks like, did he do it to get back at me? Like, did he like, but again, I'm telling you, I don't think so, because if they were together behind the scenes while me and him were hanging out and stuff, she would have texted him going off. She wouldn't have just been like, oh, you're following your ex. Like, she probably would have like burnt his house down. So that's the time that my ex tried to play me, keyword try, but it did not end up working out. It just, honestly, it's so embarrassing what guys will do these days. I don't get it. Anyway, that is it for today's story time and get ready with me. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want me to do more makeup tutorials while I am doing story times, then just let me know down below. Don't forget to submit your questions for the Q&A for when we hit 2K, either down below or Instagram DM. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media. Check out my podcast. The links are always in the description for your convenience. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that I get from you all the time. And thank you so much for the birthday love that I received. So many of you messaged me and said such sweet things to me. I had like literally the best birthday in the whole entire world last week, and I was just surrounded with so much love and happiness and joy, and you guys are like honestly my greatest gift. So thank you so much for constantly supporting me and loving me and supporting me on my journey. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your post notifications on. That way you're notified every single time I post here on YouTube, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.